Hey guys, coming back with you another video here. We're playing standard mix today, so first we're going to start with Big O. This game is capped, so it's slightly different than the other ones. We flop middle set here, but no one raised pre-flop, so it's very unlikely that someone has three aces, so we're going to go ahead and pot and probably just get it in. Now this is a cap game, so the difference here between this game and like your normal games is usually you have wow and we run into quads. All right, that was a good start. All right. So in this game, usually when you sit down with your stack, you can lose your whole stack in most pot limit games. But in some of the mixed games, what we do is we play what's called a cap game. And what I mean by that is you can only lose a certain amount of big blinds per hand. For example, in this game right here, we flop pretty much a complete wrap in this situation with kind of a mediocre low against Josh. So we're going to check to him, and we're going to check call probably once and evaluate turns. If it lets me click it. And then on this turn, I think we're just going to check fold if he bets again. Oh, he's only got $4 left. We got a pair and a wrap. This definitely isn't the best spot. I'm gonna make a fold here. So normally in pot limit games, your whole stack's in play, but in the cap games, we play something where you can lose about, I would say, half your stack, or I'm sorry, 40 big blinds. So in this game, the blinds are 25-cent 50. So what they do is they strip the blinds, they take a piece of the small blind and they take a piece of the big blind and they put them in the middle, and those are kind of like your antes in like a no limit game. And then you play and you can lose up to 40 big blinds. So we were playing a $10 cap, which means you could lose the blinds are, what was it, 10.25 or 15.25. I wasn't quite sure, I didn't see it. Calling here, we could draw one at the 10. This is Badoogie, so 4 3 2 1 all different suit, but we're going to draw two at the 5. We improve to a 3 card 8 and improve our 3 card just a little bit. So he took one in check back, which is a little bit telling here. I could do both here. I could kind of snow, but I also think like my 8 here is good sometimes, just based on the fact that he elected to check back. So my guess is he's got a pretty rough draw. He does. He's got a 3 card jack. So I didn't really see too much point in value betting the 8. It's somewhat close, but I think Josh is kind of learning these games too, so I'm not sure if he undervalues or overvalues hands at this point. But usually if you think you have the best 3 card in a 1-1 spot, you definitely should be pushing the action. And we just keep betting. And if the last draw goes Pat 1, we do some betting in that situation, but not always. 3 card 10 on the button here. I'm going to fold. One second. All right. Let's a couple things first. Obviously, if you guys want if you want to join Phenom, I'll put a link in the description below so you guys can sign up for an account. It helps me. It motivates me to keep making some videos for you too. Some nice free content. Let's get through this hand. But as you can see, we're playing what are we playing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like 10 games. 2 of them are capped. Badoogie here. We have a 2 card, so we're gonna throw that one away. Yep, cap PLO and cap Big O. Try to get as many as we can in today. 3 card 8 here. If the button raised, probably re-raising, honestly, because he's got a lot of 2 card draws if he should be opening the button. In this situation, when it goes 1-1, I think Josh is going to be a little bit light here, so I'm still going to bet the 3 card 8. We do make an 8 Badugi, so we're just going to bet. And we're going to stand pat. And then if he, pretty much no matter what happens now, we're going to value bet the river. And if we get raised with an 8, probably just call. Don't see too much value in raising on that river. So we have 3, 4, 6. So now we're playing Badusi. Badusi is half the pot goes to the best deuce 7 hand, and half the half the pot goes to the best Baduki hand. So in this game, aces are bad. So we got 1, 2. The queen Badugi is no good. We're just going to break it and draw if we give him the chance again. So the best hand in this game is 7, 5, 4, 3, 2. The best deuce to 7 hand, and the best Badugi is 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm going to break again. We make not much improvement here. We improve to technically maybe a 1 card draw, but the problem is here's an interesting situation again where it goes 1, 0, 2. Usually again, if someone has the draw lead, the 0, you usually check to them and they bet. In this spot here, I think Josh has probably got a Badugi or he's pat. We're not really drawing really well at the deuce to 7 hand either now at this point because we have a straight draw. So we're just going to go ahead and fold, especially since we check back the first draw. The pot's a little bit smaller than it normally is given kind of the action at this point. Let's see if we get to see the hands here. He might be playing multiple games. Wow, he's got a wheel. Yeah, he's got a wheel and a 3 card 5, so 5, 4, 2, 3 card. Super strong hand. I don't know if he he even says it. I guess you have Badugi. I would normally bet. Like he's totally free rolling one side of the equation. He should just always be betting. Nothing really here. We have a 2 card 9, which is not really playable. Yeah, so we got some stud games, we got some draw games, we got some flop games, we got some big O games. Looks like we got a 4 card 6 here. Don't keep the 7 in the situation. We'd rather try to draw and either improve our Baduki or improve our deuce to 7 draw. The only card that we can really catch in the situation improves the deuce for the deuce to 7. So go ahead and try. We make a 6 Badugi, which is extremely strong in this situation. I'm going to go ahead and check raise pat the 10 because I'm an open-ended 6 draw. So we'll just get it in against Josh. But if I catch a deuce, I make a straight. If I catch a 7, I make a straight. So my best cards here realistically are 8, 9s, and 10s. And yeah, in this situation, you just want your opponent to keep drawing. Hopefully you're because if he pats back, it's most likely that your 10's not going to be good. It's most likely that he beats he beats your deuce to 7 hand. Yeah, and he pairs deuces and we win. Yeah, 6 Badugi in this game is extremely strong. 7 Badugis are pretty strong. With the caveat is you can put in a fair amount of action with them, but at some point you definitely have to stop. You have to also think to yourself too, even if you have a 7 Badugi, say you have like a 7 Badugi with 7, 6, 4 or 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, so like a pretty good 7 low, but you're still getting raised and re-raised. It still means you're getting free rolled at some point. In some portion of the hand, you're getting free rolled, which means you need to slow down, because if you're getting free rolled, like no matter how strong your hand looks, we're going to call here and draw 3 at the 4, 6. You're still getting free rolled to lose your money. So at some point you just have to stop and call down instead. So we don't improve here, even though it looks like we do. He takes 1. I'm just going to give up against that. Got pair blockers, but when I had the 6 and the 7 are both the same suit, so I don't have a 3 card in situation. I still have a 2 card. My draw at the my draw is not great. So we have a 2 card 6 here. Again, I think against like maybe some weaker opponents, if you really wanted to, you could limp but I just play a raise or fold strategy. And now we're playing stud 8 or better. So split pot game where half of the pot goes to the high hand, the stud high hand, and the other half goes to the 8 or better hand. You need 3 cards in your hand, 8 or better, that are unpaired. So best low is a wheel in ace to 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Somewhat surprising here that he bets, but I guess we're still going to call. He most likely, I guess, has pairs of 8s and other things. I guess it's not too surprising. The ace didn't raise on 3rd Street. Now the ace raises, which is even a little more surprising. But my guess is he probably has some sort of like jack or maybe 2 pair in the hole. We're going to fold 4s even though we have a backdoor 6-eye straight draw. Yeah, he did have, he looks like he just had jacks. And then Josh had 8s, maybe 8s and 10s actually. He had split 8s for sure. 8 queen jack, not really playable. You definitely can do some funky stuff in short-handed stud 8 or better by playing like high hands and limping. It's pretty weak, especially with 2 low cards behind me. They should be playing relatively aggressive against each other. I don't remember seeing the same. Malta, interesting. And then I think Josh is in the US. Queen 9-7 here, we're just gonna let go. Rainbow. So what do we got? We got stud 8, Dramaha deuce to 7, PLO cap, but AC limit, deuce to 7 Raz. And this is what they call standard mix? Standard mix. I'm not quite sure why this one's called standard mix. Interesting. Someone sitting at the 200, 400 PLO table. I was curious who it was. Ace 3-4 here is very strong, especially as your door card's an ace. So what they're looking at is obviously we see the 3 and the 4, but they see an ace. Josh calls here with the 10. My guess is he has a lot of split 10s. So we have ace 3-4, 5 here in this situation. Extremely good low draw, wheel draw 2. Owl doesn't necessarily have to have doesn't have like a strong hand in this situation, but we still check to this board even though we have 4 to a wheel. Josh is probably still coming along. Yeah, the 3-3-4-5 here is not necessarily great. My guess is in this spot, if he had a low, he should be raising for sure. And we go king, queen, 10, so we brick out, and we can't beat any of their boards, so there's nothing we can ever do in this spot. A lot of times in stud, you just unfortunately have to kind of give up, especially in stud 8 too. Like I can't bluff raise this river because he might just think I have a low, and he's just going to call me with 2 pair anyways. So in Raz, a lot of times you can do some funky things like that. Interesting that Josh checks here. I'm going to go ahead and bet and not give him a free card. If I get check raise, I'll probably fold. But I'm interested with the limp, and then he catches basically one of his best cards that isn't a jack, and then he decides to check. When he catches 3 low cards now and 3 to a suit, I am going to check back and see 1 river. 9-10 jack queen. I mean, I guess I'm not even quite sure what he could have here. My guess is like I'm just probably going to let this one go because he either has a low and has half or he has me scoop for high. I don't think there's any like 9-10 jack queen. I'm still looking for the straight. I just don't see it. All right, 3-4-6 here is obviously a very strong hand in this situation. Against an open from a 9, we're just going to call because if he's got a pair, he's still a slight favorite. If he bets in this situation, we're going to go ahead and raise because we're actually a equity favorite if he's got 1 pair. And now when he checks, we actually get a free card, so it's actually one of the other added bonuses of raising sometimes. And then when we catch the deuce, we have a straight draw. We do break the straight draw. Now the other thing too, which is really important in this situation here, is now we do have, actually I'm going to go ahead and bet just in case he folds. But it's good to know that against his board, if he makes a better 7 low than me, he scoops me because I can't beat ace queen high, or I'm sorry, ace high. So let's get to this river here real quick. We'll pull this up. Now we're playing deuce to 7 drama hall. We'll go back in 1 second. But on this river, if you can see my hand versus Josh's hand, his board is 9-8, ace 7, and I have queen high. So I have deuce 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, but I have 6 low cards, no pair, and queen high. So my hand is 7, 6, 4, 3, 2 for low, but I can't beat ace high. So if he somehow shows up with a better 7 low underneath, he scoops me. But if I think I have any fold equity against him, I should go ahead and bet. It's probably pretty marginal, to be completely honest, but I've seen people fold in that spot too, and I also think if he had a better 7 low, he'd probably just lead. Deuce to 7 drama, another split pot game where we're playing deuce to 7. Okay, we're playing 5 card Omaha High with the cards in your hand, so half the pot goes to that, and the other half goes to the best deuce to 7 hand in your hand. So again, obviously the best deuce to 7 hand is 7, 5, 4, 3, 2. You get 1 draw to try to make the lowest you can. I would say usually in this situation, like jacks and 10s are going to be your most likely scenario that are hands that end up winning. It's like, see, we have 10 low over here, so 10, 9, 7, 5, 4 gets half, and then Josh wins the high board with something. 4 card jack in this situation, small blind versus big blind, we're going to raise. We have 2 10s. I think we're still gonna bet because I think Josh might take 2. We do block the 10-8 as well, so we improve here. This is a pretty good card for us. Jack 10 7, so we have a Jack 10 7 low. We have 7s and 4s right now. We have some other straight draws in there. We have 3 4 5 6 7, so we do make a straight, and he has a queen, so I think I get 3/4. Yeah, I get 3/4. He got the same straight as me, and then I have a better low with Jack 10. 4 card 9 here on the button, 8 9 8 5 2. There are some situations where you do keep the ace. You don't necessarily draw him away. Remember, like, you have a ton of equity too on the Omaha board. So here we're open-ended with a flush draw. The other thing too, which is very important to know too, is that those 3s and the 4s block me from improving my 9. With that being said, I still think this board is a little bit strong. My draw is a little bit strong, so I think I have enough equity both ways to consider just betting. And I do get called in both spots, so we're going to draw. Obviously, we're just going to call it. Now, Josh takes 2. My guess is he's got, like, he definitely has a 3 in my mind when he check raises that board. So he actually might be keeping, like, sometimes you see players keep pairs. We're going to check this one back when we have deuces. I'd say there's a really good chance here we actually have the best hand right now with deuces. Now, if Josh bets the river, okay, well, we miss all our draws, but I think deuces have actually a good chance of winning here. So, nope, Jack low should definitely bet. Looks like Josh had an ace with a combo draw. I'll show that one again. But yeah, the Jack 10 should definitely bet, especially on that river, because now he rivers 10s with a Jack. So he's got a Jack low with 10s up. And we're going to call here. We have some stuff working in our favor. We're going to check, and I think we're going to just check raise, and then hopefully he breaks, because our Omaha high is so strong. Our draw is so strong, and at the same time too, if he misses, now we have 2 flush draws, a straight draw, and a flush draw. And on the river we brick everything, so now we're gonna most likely check fold if he bets, because I can't beat anything. But also sometimes you keep this with the notion that if he bricks, he'll fold a better hand. I'm just looking to make sure I bricked everything, because that is a big brick. Also, you want to. There's definitely times pre-flop where you want to play your. I'm gonna make a little bit of a loose open here with this hand. So on this board we have the nut flush draw. We're gonna ditch the 7. We're gonna keep the ace high here. could just consider actually like keeping the sevens and turn my hand into a bluff again. He does break, which is interesting. We're going to bet the ace and hope we get some fold equity from something else we don't, but we have enough equity to continue, so we're going to continue. And now on the river, we make the nut flush, so we're just going to go ahead and bet. Yeah, and we scoop him. So I don't necessarily hate his play, to be completely honest, just because if I have a PLO cap now, so you can see we strip the blinds 13 cents to 25 cents, so the most you can lose is $10. I don't necessarily hate his play with the three kings because like he has no showdown value in the deuce to seven hand, and he technically has the nuts on that board. I think you have to find some bluffs, and that type of hand is actually, I think, okay to do it with. I think he probably needs to fold the river though when I bet the flush, because I just almost always have a flush given the way that he's played his hand. King, queen, deuce, 9 here to a raise is a fold, but against a min raise with like I think there's almost 1.5x in there, we just call a min raise. It's pretty easy. Check this flop, and this one might actually be a good one to consider check raising. He bets pot though, and we're just gonna let it go. If he bets smaller, I think I was going to go for a check raise, but when he bets pot, I'm just going to give it up. King 10, Jack 5. What's the next game? What do we got left? Badesi and then limit 08. In this spot, I'm going to go ahead, and I have a lot of limps here. I could maybe raise this hand. If I had a suited king, I would definitely raise. Ace A7, I'm just going to go small. Go for a check 2, I guess. Ace 3, 6, 7. Usually when you have the antes in this game, especially PLO, you do a fair bit of limping. I have no problem with that. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of, and again, I'm not quite sure if this is how it usually goes in the say live mixed games, is usually you're only the structure here allows you to make really big pot size bets. So usually in that situation, he's only supposed to be able to make it 4x the limp, so like make it $1, but he there can make it 138, which is actually it's significant when you have a $10 cap on. Like 126 here, like making it 5x is again pretty significant. So this is we're gonna make it fold. Like usually he can make it 85 cents or 88 cents or whatever the random rounding number is. But that's also one of the other reasons why like having limps is a really good strategy, because now if they make a huge pot bet, you can re-raise pot with like some of your strongest limps. And when they do that, we're going to call here with the king, queen, 8, 7. And get that. And we're going to check fold to a bet. Interesting. He usually should just bet pretty small there, I think, and just win. And then on this river with the king high flush, we're going to pot into him as we run off clubs. But yeah, you definitely want a limping strategy in this game, because if they start making huge pot raises, then you can just simplify the game so much by re-raising your strongest hands and just almost getting it in pre-flop. Because in the normal strategy, if 40 big bets, if they can only make it like a pot size raise and someone makes it 3.5, I think you can make it like 11 or 10.5, something like that on the button. So then there's still a little bit of playability where the SPR or the stack to pot ratio is, I think, 1.5 still. But in this situation, if they make it 5, if you limp and they make it 5 or 6 pre-flop, well, now you get to just repot it for almost 20. And if they call, your stack to pot ratio is 0.75. So, I mean, you're just like never folding any flop kind of thing. But it changes the dynamic pretty significantly. So, I don't know. I don't mind it either way. Badesi here, ace 2, 6, 9. We're going to throw the 9 away if we get to play this one. Keeping the 9 out of position is a little bit rough. I'm going to go ahead and 3-bet here, actually. I think this is pretty strong. He does take 3. I'm going to keep the 9. I'm not going to keep the 5. Draw to a 4 card 6 and a 3 card 6. And make the 8. We're going to bet and pat. And pat. If he takes 2, I bet. If he takes 1, I'm going to probably check. If I had a 7 here, I'd probably bet. And he does have a Jack Badoogie. And he's sitting out, so we'll play. We'll try to play a few more hands here. 2, 5, 8, and Badesi. I think heads up. This is totally fine to call and draw 2. I was hoping to get a. We're gonna check. He takes 1 on the button. I'm gonna call and take 2. I'm gonna break the 10. See if we can improve our Badoogie. And now that he pats, I would need to significant improvement, so I'm just going to go ahead and check fold. Was hoping this game would fill up just a little bit, but unfortunately it looks like not going. But we can still discuss some hands, so we get 3 bet. Heads up, 2, 4, 6. We're going to draw at the 2, 4, 6. Remember, ace to 5, best hand in ace to 5 is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with a 4, 3, 2, 1 Badoogie. Aces are your friend. 4, 6, 7, no real improvement here. I'm going to keep drawing. And the reason I keep breaking some of these hands is I'm trying to get to the free roll. Meaning I want to be in a position where I have the best Badoogie, meaning I'm free rolling the ace to 5 hand. We are going to call here in heads up spot. Pat 1. I'm breaking the queen because having like a queen in a 3 card 6 is almost the same thing. It's not exactly. Now that I improved to a jack, I'm like, it doesn't matter. A queen and jack are the same hand, but I have a Badoogie, so I'm going to go ahead and call and try to get half the pot for the Badoogie. He's got a pretty strong hand there, 7-7, so he's going to scoop me. And call it the 3-6. He folds. Nothing here. We're going to let that one go. Let's see. Limit 08, triple draw, res, and we get back to big O. So we might get a full rotation in today. 4-6, queen 10. Don't love this hand, but we have a couple low cards, so we're going to go ahead and see a flop. On this board, when he snap checks it, we're going to bet the turn, and hopefully we get a fold. And we do. Usually when they snap check it, it means they have an absolute monster, or like most of the time it means they don't really have anything. So I kind of use that as a timing tell. Flop 3 6s with a 3-4 low draw. Good hand. 3, 4, 6, 8 on the button. Any 4 low cards on the button heads up are going to be pretty strong. Keep firing away here. I'm going to go ahead and call. I think Owl's playing a little bit tight. I don't love the check raise. He's representing kings in this situation, and even if he's got a 6, he usually has a better kicker than me. Yeah, I mean, I'm targeting a bluff when he check raises, or like that hand, but he really shouldn't have too many aces in his range. So, I don't mind the fact that he played it that way, except for I would just 3-bet his hand pre-flop. Like, aces with a low card is just so strong. Pretty hand here on a button, ace 9, 9, 4, so... high pair with a double suited. I'm going to bet this flop. A lot of times I check this flop, but it depends on the pair too. If I have like queens, I think queens, like you can check this flop with queens. Because you're not really like scared of anything except a random king kind of peeling off. Call on the turn. 6, we're backdoor low. But with 2 backdoor flush draws too. And once he checks, we're going to bet it. Kings, I actually like the way he played his hand here too. Kings is probably close to a 3-bet pre-flop just because like king with 2 low cards is really strong, but I really like the check raise on the flop. I think that was good. 9 10 and give me the oh, okay. King 10 4 6, we call, we flop a straight, king high flush blocker, and a backdoor 6 4. You could definitely do some check raising on this board. I'm just going to check call. My low draw is not necessarily that great. I could even lead this turn, to be honest. And then on the river, I'm just going to go ahead and bet because I think his range is pretty weak. Oh, wow. He has a queen high flush draw. Okay. Yeah, I still would have bet his hand on the turn. Queen high flush draws are just like, that hand is really strong. Okay. Queen 6 7 here on the button. Same kind of thing. pretty strong. Open-ended with queens, backdoor clubs. Bet flop folds. That was 08. I think we get to deuce to 7 now. So a little more deuce to 7 action. Okay, deuce 3 we're going to throw away at 9. He folds. Pretty strong hand here on button. Pat 9. Can definitely make the case for breaking at the 8. Let's see how he plays this hand. Oh, interesting. Decides to 5-bet me, and he stands pat. This is close. I'm going to break the 9 and try to improve. It says bet, but I saw it say bet. Where did it go? That was weird. Okay. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, call again. If he shows up here with something like a 10, then it's a really big mistake on my part. Yeah, like I don't love the fact that he checks the river. We did make the right decision though, so that ended up being a good decision. I hear the sound. Where is that sound coming from? Not quite sure. But yeah, he seemed to be playing pretty, I'd say a little bit tight, so I think breaking the 9 there is a, I hear it. Where's it at? Okay. I wonder if I'm getting lag somehow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we make a straight. So we are going to break the 6 and draw the 2, 3, 4, 5 because now we have a wheel draw. I must have another table open somewhere. And then we pair 5s on the river, so we're just going to check fold. Sorry, I'm just searching out this other table real quick because I just want to make sure I don't have anything else going. All right, raise on the button here with 4, 7, 8. Still going to throw away the 9. We could keep the, actually I might just keep the 9 in the situation because 4, 7, 8 is pretty weak in its own right. And now my mouse is acting funny, so we just, all right, 7, 8 on the button. I'm just going to go ahead and fold. There is another game. Where's this other game at? This is my game. Where's this game? Oh, I didn't know I had another table open. Okay, I'll get out of this one. Okay, sorry. Raz, got a 6. King in the hole, heads up. Just gonna fold. If he raises, queen versus an ace, he's most likely gonna open. We're just gonna fold. Short-handed Raz is kind of a different beast because you're playing against super wide ranges. Again, if the 10 opens here, we open with a 2-card 8, blocking another ace. Ace 5 is good for us. Our board looks good. The 9's a good card for us as well. He should probably be folding here always. Like even against wide ranges, when he makes 10-9 queen, his hand is pretty much done. 2 to wheel in this situation. We're going to open. We'll catch 5, bet, fold. Let's see if we're going to open the 7 against the queen. Yeah, Raz is just one of those games where you just kind of have to push your door card. It's super hard. 4, 8, 9 we're defending here if he opens the 4. For sure. He catches the 7, we catch the 5. Again, he can be pretty wide here, but we're just going to give it a call. Our hand's kind of like, say, drawy-ish. Yeah, most likely he made a pair or brick in the hole, so we win. All right, we'll play the big O capped round, see if we can lose to quads again, jokingly. And I think that's where we'll call it. He makes it 3x on the button, so king 10, 6, 3, 5. Not necessarily a great hand, but we're definitely going to call. Heads up with Annie's in the pot. He bets 118. We're open-ended with a 9. We have some back door. I'm going to call here. 3's obviously not a good turn, especially 3 hearts. No, we don't have that flush draw either, so we're going to check fold to any bet. Yep. Fold. And then I would definitely say on the 7, 8, jack, depending on the turn card, we want to have some leads, like any 9, 10, queen probably favors us. Again, we can do some limping in this game. because obviously there's a fair bit in the middle. Probably a board that favors me just a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and bet. We can bet small, because against his checking range, he is going to have a tough time continuing on a straight board. 3 nines is no good. Even against the min raise, we're just not calling with 3 nines. Two, 5, 6, 9, 7. We're going to call. Make nines and deuces with no flush draw or backdoor flush draw. And no straight draw. So here we're just going to go ahead and check this one. Make fives. We have 6, 7. So we have 3 pair and a 6, 7. So we have some low draw and we have some sort of straight draw. We're going to do the same thing here. Actually, you know what? On this turn, I'm going to go ahead and pot it. River's kind of fun, I guess. Can make a full house. I'm going to go ahead and bet like somewhat big. Because on the turn, it looked like I kind of had like some sort of combo draw or low. I didn't bet the flop, so like me having a full house is kind of hard, I would say. But yeah, we took that round. We got there. Ace 9, King 10, 6. Heads up. I would say this is a relatively strong hand. Our low isn't the best in the world, but yeah, we get to do some fun things on this board. It favors our range by far since he limped, so we're just going to go ahead and bet small on this board. 3 is actually still a pretty good card for us, I would say, so we can just bet small again because we're kind of setting up the river jam if he calls. So you don't have to like, I think a lot of people just, we're going to go ahead and open this one. Ace 5, 6, 6, 8. I think a lot of people just they bet like way too big. They don't size down a little bit when they can size down. All right. Badugi will play, I'm going to let him know. This is really close. I'm going to ditch the queen though. I think ace 2, 5 is just too strong. I'm going to play the Badugi round. And then we improve to, we hit another ace, so it's likely our 3 card's really good. A-Y-I-N-U-G-I. Have to go. And then we make a 9 Badugi, so we're just going to bet the river. If we get raised here, it's kind of close, actually, against him. But I've actually seen like some relatively good cards for us. Yeah, like I think it's close against Owl just because I think he's been playing pretty tight. But if everyone's raising like most Badugis on that river, he said, so I'm gonna fold this one, and then got to go. If people are raising most Badugis on the river, I think it's actually a little bit closer. But I think Josh is playing a little bit tighter, so I might have been a little bit overzealous in that situation. 3 card 9, I'm just going to fold. Make a king Badugi here. And we're just going to go ahead and pretty much pat and pray, as they like to call it. And this is our last hand. So we'll just say sit out next hand. And we got a 3 card 4 to start. So 2, 3, 4. He 3 bets us. We're going to call. We'll kind of like slow play our hand a little bit because obviously, I mean, like a 2, 3, 4 is just super strong and we improve to ace 3, 4. We're just going to take the betting lead once he gives it to us. And then we could also do some raising on a later street if he still just let into us. We could raise the second draw, even the first draw. And then if he bets the river, we could call most likely. And if he checks the river, we're just going to bet 4, 3, 1. Hope to get called by a worse 3 card. We actually chop it 4, 3, 1. My guess is he had the 9 actually in his hand, and he proved to ace 3, 4, just because he 3-bet pre-flopped and then checked the whole way back. If he had ace 3, 4, he should be leading the entire way. So all right, that'll do it for this video. have any comments, put them down below. If you guys are interested in a Phenom account, again, use the link in the description. That will help me out and help the channel out. And I will keep being motivated to make some videos and some content for you guys for some commentary. Until then, I hope to see you at the tables. Good luck, and bye-bye.